Hi, I'm Joey, and my project was on Zhu Bing's Book from the Sky and Kasi Cody's, who is also known as Katsuyogo's Painted Elk Hide. Book from the Sky was created from 1987 to 1991 by Zhu Bing. The media he used to create this was all of installation of hand-painted books, along with ceiling and wall scrolls which were painted on with a wooden letterpress that he created himself. The project was considered to be a sculpture and was 18 1/8 by 20 inches with each book open, with 3 ceiling scrolls each being about 38 inches by 114 feet, and each wall scroll being 9 feet 2 1/4 inches by 39 3/8 inches. All of that being put together filled up an entire room that is about 1,500 square feet. Book from the Sky sits in a gallery located in Austin, Texas at the Blanton Museum of Art, and it sits in a public showroom that is approximately 1,500 square feet. Book from the Sky's text is made up from about 4,000 different made-up characters known as pseudo-characters, which were invented by Zhu Bing himself during the creation of the piece. The purpose of pseudo-characters is to mimic traditional Chinese characters but with no meaning. The reasoning behind this use of the pseudo-characters was most likely to reflect and react to propaganda Bing had experienced in his youth while living in China, where at the time, in his youth, dictators abused their power and used language as a tool for propaganda to get more power for themselves. Before its release in 1991, Zhu Bing had many names for the piece, the main one being Mirror to Analyze the World, a title which evokes the trope of the book as Jane or Mirror in the venerable tradition of imperial historiography. But Bing saw that to be too cumbersome and too heavily influenced by Western forms and cultural climate. So instead, he adopted a name that was already a popular use, Tinashu, which originally referred to certain kinds of religious text, but now was used to mean gibberish, or how he called it, nonsense writing. The book, which consists of 4 volumes with a total of 604 pages, was printed in a single run of 126 copies between 1987 and 1991, and was first publicly exhibited in October of 1988 at Beijing's Art Gallery in Beijing, China. Zhu Bing was born in 1955 and grew up in Beijing, China. In 1966, when Bing was 10, the Chinese Cultural Revolution started, and that did not end until 10 years later, when Bing was 20 years old. During that time, heavy propaganda was used, which was what inspired Bing to create Book from the Sky in 1987. During the late 1980s, Bing took several years to invent about 4,000 pseudo-characters, which he then carved into wooden printing blocks that he used in creating Book from the Sky. Bing came to the US in 1990 as a visiting artist, eventually establishing a studio in Brooklyn, New York 18 years later in 2008, and then returned to Beijing, China once again, where Book of the Sky is yet to be shown again. The piece I will be talking about is the Painted Elk Hide. Painted Elk Hide was made from 1890 to 1900 at Eastern Shoshone Wind River Reservation in Wyoming as an attribution to Katsuyogo or Kasi Cody. The media of the painting was elk hide and bright pigments. The hide itself is about 81 by 78 inches. Cody was very well known for his numerous animal hide paintings, and he often used deer, elk, and buffalo hides as canvas. He also used natural pigments such as chalk and orc as painting material. The painted elk hide was made from a combination of freehand painting along with the use of stencils for some of the designs. In his life, Cody was a member of the Eastern Shoshone tribe, and his art was essential for the transformation from traditional and even ancient tribal methods into a more modern society and art form that would fit into the Western contemporary style. The piece was multifunctional, being both culturally and economically beneficial for the Wind River Reservation. The piece led to economic development because it attracted white visitors to the reservation, and it also led those visitors to attend rituals such as the sun and wolf dances put on by the tribe, and visitors would spend money to see these shows. The piece was also seen as a cultural and survival statement for the tribe, as it would help the tribe to move away from their ancient roots into a more modern world by making the art and traditions increasingly more contemporary. The piece itself has displays of daily life on the reservation, showing men on horses hunting buffalo, and women at their teepees or campsites. Other displays, such as the ritualistic sun dance and wolf dance, are also displayed in the painting, showing the importance to the tribe's ceremonies and their want to worship and honor their deities. Important figures and warriors are also shown in their honor on the painting, wearing headdresses covered in feathers. The painting kept tradition in showing history of the tribe's life and records of their daily life, while also making it more contemporary and pleasing to what Western society wanted to see. For the tribe, painting on animal hides to preserve history and keep records was a major tradition, and even with the modernization to the New World, the tribe continued to keep that tradition alive. On the painting, showing animals such as horses, buffalo, and other animals that were important to their everyday lives was also a very important part of preserving the history of the tribe, just as all of the other pieces that the tribe added into the painting, all keeping tradition together and continually showing our relation as humans to animals and nature. Another piece by Zhu Bing is called 10,000 Trees. It was made in 2004. It is ink on paper, and it is about 40 3/4 by 134.5 inches. Another work created by Zhu Bing is called A Place with Mountains. It was created in 1986. It is print, and it is 57 by 75 centimeters.